I'm grateful to get to do this morning. Trauma sensitive yoga, 45-minute practice. And my name is Brooke. And I thought this morning, before we even got started on this journey, just to take a moment to read from a sweet book that a mentor and the owner of the yoga studio that I get to practice mostly at gave us for it has just been a joy to read through this book. I think the first time I was exposed to it was probably a year and a half or a year ago. Someone brought it to a yoga retreat, and I was able to look through it. So the boy, the mole, the fox, and the horse is what we're looking at. So 45 minutes of trauma sensitive yoga this morning, and we will take everything as an opportunity to choose. So really, what this practice is about is showing up. And then from there, what happens is what you choose on your mat space or whatever space you're practicing, because you're at home. So you might even not have a mat, you might not have all these fun yoga light props at home. But if you have cushions or other things that you can use, a throw pillow, something like that, that would make your practice more comfortable, by all means, grab that. And also, being on video means that we're not in community, which I like being in community because it gives us an opportunity to assess what's going on. And if we need to chat or you need to take a pause and just come back. So kind of treat that in the same way on the video if you're watching this, but also know that you're welcome to email me, message me in any way after this. And if I can get you the direct you to appropriate resources or answer questions, I'm happy to do that, or direct you in the right area. So this sweet book says, what do you think is the biggest waste of time? And you really could be in any yoga posture you'd like right now. What do you think is the biggest waste of time? The sweet mole is asking the boy. Comparing yourselves to other, said the mole. I wonder if there is a school of unlearning. What do you think is the biggest waste of time? I'm just going to bring this right up here. It's so sweet. And the mole just replies, comparing yourself to others. I wonder if there is a school of unlearning. And I really have felt this in my, not yoga practice, but just really in my life, right? It was a constant comparison. And so I'm going to be on a video today. And so I felt like it was important to say that, because there's no need to compare and contrast what somebody is doing on their mat to what I'm doing on my mat. And that's just certainly my opinion. There's lots of different schools of thought there. But I feel like we all have somatic intelligence that we're getting to tap into. And part of that is just listening to our bodies and knowing what postures are appropriate, not appropriate, and what postures we might want to stay in a little bit longer or modify. So just being really gentle and loving today as I'm going to start in a child's posture. I've got all these furry friends. Just extend my arms out, find this. They're all coming. I've got to rearrange my people here. So I'm starting in child's, which might be appropriate for you. Another option might be tadpole, where you bring the knees a little closer together and the arms can lay like this. Or anything in between, anything you want to make up, right? This is your opportunity to explore. As you're here, you might choose to rub your forehead along the mat space. You might choose to take the arms from side to side, beginning for me to wake up to the practice of yoga. And if you're so inclined, you might take a moment to notice breath. Again, optional. We'll find short periods either while we're moving or in stillness to meditate. And I don't think it has to be one long stream, although it may, and you may have a practice like that. But it may be shorter intervals linked into a longer practice like we're doing today. So I like to use Josh Summers' definition of meditation. Meditation is the sum total of everything that happens while you intend to meditate. So that gives us a lot of room for experimenting, pausing, getting up. He even says, get up and go do something else and come back. So just a lot of freedom in that definition, and I think it's a great one. It's a great one for me, and I've been meditating a while, so I think it's a really nice one to allow yourself to consider on this journey. So if you'd like to inhale and bring yourself up to a tabletop, that's where I'm going. And I'm just going to take a moment here to inhale and let my belly relax and let my shoulders relax a little bit, and just notice as I inhale. And then as I exhale and lift the navel toward the spine and lower the head. Just an opportunity to say, okay, I'm feeling different things as I move my body back and forth. So sometimes we notice, and sometimes we're not really noticing anything. And to know the not noticing is kind of like noticing, right? Because you're going, okay, I'm not noticing, and just maybe making a note, a mental note, or since we're at home today, it's a great time to maybe even have a journal out that you could just write something down. And then I'm going to come back to just a tabletop posture, and I'm just going to notice my hands on the earth here, see if I can feel what's underneath. I'm noticing the temperature of this room, sounds, I'm hearing my animals. And then inside, I'm feeling my hands right now on the earth. I'm going to step my left foot forward where my left hand was in lunge for a moment. And I'm leaving my right knee down. And you might choose to tuck your right toes and bring your right knee up. So either place is fine. I'm moving from this lower place today. And then I'm going to move my fingers above my left foot, both sides and front, tuck my right toe, lift my right knee, and then I'm going to step my right foot to meet my left. So now both of my feet are on the ground. You have something to raise the floor. That could be nice too. Otherwise, just allowing the arms to hang is fine. Grabbing your elbows. And for me, I have to remind myself to let my head and neck be heavy because I hold a lot of tension here at the center. And then I'm going to notice my feet. So before it was my hands, now it's my feet that I'm really feeling on the earth here. So maybe taking your attention there. Again, nothing has to be done for a very long time, so we can always modify, move into a different place or pause. If you'd like to inhale, I'm going to take a half lift as I inhale. I take a long stretch out with my spine, and then exhale back to my forward fold. Then I'm going to let my hands come to the earth. I'm getting my knees generously clear and stepping my feet a little bit closer and stepping the feet back. So here you have the option for a plank or bringing the knees to the earth. On my next inhale, I'm going to press a little forward and lower all the way to the mat space. Now for me, I'm leaving my hands right about where they're at, but you can choose if you want to move them a little bit, but just checking in with where your hands are. And then I'm going to find a little mini cobra here. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, lowering back to the mat space. Inhale, lifting. And then I'm lowering and just giving yourself plenty of time to lift. Maybe yoking that breath with that movement, but that again is not required. It's just an option to play with. And then on this next one, I'm tucking my toes. I'm leaving my knees on the earth and I'm pressing back into that plank. And this time I'm going to press back. I'm going to keep my toes tucked, and I'm going to lift up. And I'm bringing my hands just to my thighs here, right? But you might bring them to heart center. You might bring them above your head. A couple different places to go. For me, I am beginning to really feel my toes. So one option here would be to release the toes and lay your foot flat on the earth. And then another option is to come forward after you've done plenty of that and tap your toes on the mat space. And as I do that, I even try to think about my feet as they hit the earth. So, okay, how does that feel? Lighter, harder taps? What do I need today? I'm going to begin to walk my arms out and bring my elbows down to the earth and extend my legs back. This is the Sphinx posture. You're welcome here. You're also welcome to bring your whole body down onto the earth or find anything in between, right? So here I'm going to press my feet into the earth. I'm going to press my legs toward the earth. So parts of them might be touching, parts of them might not. I have a lot of physical trauma on the left side of my body. So I notice things are quite different when I do postures like this and incorporate my legs than other postures. I really, this one, it's very evident to me. So notice that it's not always symmetrical in nature. Some folks, it is more symmetrical. If you choose, you might come back to noticing your breath. Perhaps even taking a little bit more air in through the nose and releasing a little more air out the nose. Go ahead and come down onto my belly and just bring my arms underneath my head or come down on your cheek here. You're not already here. I'm going to begin to walk my hands back next to either side of my rib cage and tuck my toes. And I'm going to press right back to that plank with my knees on the earth that I've been at before. And then I'm going to come back to tabletop. So you might choose a child's posture for a moment. You might choose some cow and cat. Perhaps you've got things that we've even just done in this practice that you can go back to. You might say, gosh, Brooke, I really like down dog, or I've been experimenting with this posture or that posture. And I just invite you to give it a go. And really, video is wonderful because it's it kind of releases us even from that group setting. But even in the group settings, I'm noticing people really taking charge and doing what they need to do, whether it's stick with what I'm offering posture by posture, or making their own choices that deviate because that's what they need. And there's nothing wrong with either one, right? You could do exactly what I'm doing, some of what I'm doing, none of what I'm doing. So that's the wonderful experience of trauma sensitive yoga, is that we get options. So this time I'm going to let my right foot come through and replace where my right hand was. Leg could be on the earth. You could tuck toes and lift the knee. So lunge here. And I'm just finding a little movement back and forth, warming up this other side. Always an opportunity to check in with the breath. I feel like checking in with the breath and yokes me back into listening to what's around me, but also maybe a little bit of what's inside me, what's on the earth, where I feel maybe a little tension or pressure. I'm going to begin to bring my hands above my foot, tuck my toes, lift my left knee, and step my left foot to my right foot this time. So back to forward fold, opportunity to bring attention to the feet. And this time, if you'd like to try on something new, I'm going to lift my heels just a little bit. They're still on the earth, but I'm putting more pressure into the balls of my feet. So, and then I'm going to release. You can ebb and flow back and forth here. It's exploring. And if you'd like to bring the heels a little more firmly planted, I'm going to find a halfway lift. So I'm lengthening my spine here. And then exhale, come back through the fold. And this time, I'm going to bring my hands out to either side and rise up into what we call mountain. So for me, I'm going to take my shoulders and roll them up with an inhale. Exhale, bring them down. And then I'm going to take a moment to bring my hands to my rib cage. And just feel that upper and middle abdomen. And just notice. I'm going to take my arms and hug around. I'm gonna just change my arms. So one arm is on top, now the other arm is on top, hugging. And then I'm going to take a moment to just bring my arms next to me and just move side to side and allow my arms to just relax. They do many of these movements. This is more Qigong movement, but I find it helpful in my yoga to just kind of get me out of the rigidity of posture, right? There's unlearning, as I read earlier. Oh, I gotta do some unlearning. So here I am, I'm doing a little unlearning by just whimsically going back and forth here. And then I'm gonna find my way back to mountain. I'm gonna inhale my hands to my heart center. And then I'm going to take myself back to forward fold and hang for a moment. If you'd like another half lift, I'm just going to take one here. And then this exhale, I'm going to bring my hands to the earth, scoop my feet in, step my feet back, bring my knees to the earth, inhale. In this plank, exhale, lower all the way down. And on my next inhale, mini cobra. And then bring it back down with the exhale. I'm going to find another inhale and lift with mini cobra. And then release. And then one more. And release. And then I'm going to tuck my toes, press back through the plank, and take a moment in child's posture for me, but it could be that tadpole, it could be a simple seat, like butterfly feet, simple seat, whatever suits you. Going to lift, inhale, bring myself back to tabletop. This time I'm going to take my right arm out to the right. And it might start to come a little higher. And just scoop it down underneath and reach. And then I'm going to bring it right back out and through. And you might find that you want to breathe a certain way here. So I'm not going to tell you inhale, exhale at a different point. In fact, we do that a lot in yoga, and sometimes it's really helpful because it's part of the practice, yoking the breath with movement. But sometimes it can be very distracting, right? And then I'm going to bring my right hand down and then just lift on this other side. And also your body might be saying inhale here and exhale here, or inhale here rather and exhale here. And I'd really like you to try on both today, right? Unlearning, just unlearning, but also learning, right? Learning about what suits our bodies better, not necessarily what suits a facilitator's body or your next door neighbor at the yoga room, their body. And I'm going to come on back through. Now I'm going to take kind of that same space that I was there before with the leg, lunging out in front, left side, bringing it forward, replacing my left hand with my left foot. And I'm going to bring my hands to my thigh. Now I'm going to bring my arms out in a T shape. So just nice and wide here. Of course, you could bring them to your heart or above your head. And I'm going to take an inhale here and reach forward. Of course, it might be an exhale for you, right? And then I'm just going to swim like this, and then I'm exhaling here. So I'm inhaling, bringing them forward, and exhale, swimming. 3, 4, 5 of these if you'd like, or just one. And then I'm going to bring my hands down. I'm going to step my left foot back. And this time I'm going to step my right foot forward and replace that right hand. And bring my hands to my leg. And now I'm going to widen my arms, just bringing them to each side of me. And the same thing here, I'm going to reach them forward and swim a little bit. I'm going to bring my hands back to the earth and step this knee back. And I'm going to come onto my bottom. I'll face the screen, just so hopefully what you see. And I am in a simple seat here. I'm going to sit on my blanket. Okay, so I've noticed I put my left leg in front of my right. You don't have to change anything, just notice which one you put there, and then that way you can switch in the middle. So we're going to do a couple things on each side. So beginning, I'm going to bring my arms up overhead, inhale. And then I am going to go to my left side first and open up my arms and find a twist. So I'm looking to my left side with my fingers coming down. You may also choose to have a block. Some people need a block behind them or block in front, right? Or a throat cushion, right? Twisting to the left. And if you'd like, you may take the gaze, that's an option, or you may keep your gaze straight to the left, but you might take it behind you or toward that left shoulder. You need to take a moment to notice your fingers on the earth. You may even choose to move them, right? Like you're playing a piano. When you're ready, inhale, come back through center. And then I'm going to twist to the other side, look to the right, fingers come to the earth. You may choose to do the same thing or something different here, right? Maybe moving the fingers, noticing the fingers, taking the gaze toward the right shoulder. And with an exhale, I'm coming back through center. I'm going to bring my hands to my knees. You might bring them just to your inner thighs, or just tuck them in your lap. I'm going to change the cross of my legs. With an inhale, I'm bringing my arms up overhead. Bringing my right hand down to my fingertips. Again, a block might be an option here. I'm going to really reach with this left arm and come over to my right side. I'm going to take a moment to look at my left arm. That's an option here. I'll inhale my way back up through center, bringing my right arm up. And this time really reaching with the right arm and allowing my left hand to come to the earth. Ooh, I'm going to take a moment to just feel my fingers here on the earth. I'm also noticing my bottom just sinking into the earth, reaching with my right arm. And this time, if you'd like to lean to the left, right arm reaching over. And that optional add-on is just looking at the right arm. Inhale, keep bringing back through center. I'm releasing both of my arms. And I'm going to bring my hands behind me. I'll turn a little bit here. I'm bringing my hands behind me and letting my knuckles come toward the earth. And then I'm lifting my gaze up. So remember, I said I have really tight shoulders. I have to release the shoulders. I'm going to release that. I'm going to bring my legs out in front. And so this is one where you have some options. One would be to use a bolster or pillows underneath your knees. Another would be to bring your feet flat to the earth. We're going to fold here. It's a stack fold. We'll take a few moments here and you might check in with your breath. You might check in with what's on the earth. You might go outside into temperature, which you're feeling outside of you. And we will have an opportunity to just begin to fold toward our legs. So my knees are bent, so I'm getting to rest on my legs here. And if you feel like you want a little bit more, you might relax the knees on a pillow and start to come over, or you might just let go of the prop altogether. I'm going to take my time and just kind of pressing up. You have plenty of time to make your way back upright. And now we're going to come to what's called modified mode. So I'm going to bring my feet flat to the earth and bring my hands to my hamstrings. My shoulders, I have to tell them to relax, right? So you start to get to know these little things as your information gathering in your practice. You'll go, oh, I hold a lot of tension here. Interesting. You make notes, right? And then you can modify your practice to either help those areas or just notice them more often in what postures they're more often bothering you or bringing tension that isn't necessarily pain, perhaps. If it's painful, we definitely want to avoid it. I talk about that a lot in my yin yoga practices because we're doing a lot of stretching and I'm telling people we don't like pain. If it's numb or tingling, that's usually a signal that we might want to back off and find a different posture. So just keying into, we all have different histories, right? I said earlier, I have body and trauma on the left side of my body. So I just have to be aware that that's going to change what I can do from side to side. So modified boat, leaning back here, and I'm going to start to notice parts of my body engaging that help me stay here. So take a moment and just say, what's engaging to help me be here? Sometimes we don't even know, and that is okay. It's just beginning the journey of gathering the information, noticing when we notice what's engaging and when we're not really noticing what specifically is engaging. And then for me, I'm going to begin to walk my feet a little bit out, lower myself toward the mat. However you want to comfortably come to your back, you may do so. And then if you've already made your way to a different posture, fantastic, right? Lots of options and choices here. So as you're on your back, if you've chosen this particular place, you might notice what is on the earth and what is raised up from the earth. I'm going to walk my feet up toward me and bring my knees into my chest for a moment. Another opportunity to give yourself a hug. And then I'm going to let my knees float away. And I'm just going to find some little rocks and roll side to side. So you might choose to keep the knees closer to you. You might even need a little more space and bring them a little further away. So for me, I'm noticing when I get to this one spot where my knees are, I can roll back and forth on my lower back and my hips. And then I'm going to make my way through center. If you'd like to press your feet up, waterfall. You might find a nice generous bend in the knees. You might bring your tailbone to the earth, or you might raise it off the earth. You're going to feel maybe some different things there, different engagements as you change where your spine is on the earth. You may even choose to lock the knees or flex the feet or point the feet. And you may try on all of them, right? Just gathering information about what's suiting you today, what you're interested in exploring. I'm going to bring my knees into my chest, bring my arms out into a T shape. You could also bring your arms maybe in a cactus or to your belly. And then I'm going to let my knees fall to the right, supine twist. So options here might be to bring a hand to that left leg. It might be that you want to take your gaze to the left. Just different places you can go here in this form.
I'm bringing my neck back in line, just taking my head back, facing the ceiling with my face, and then bringing my knees back through center, and then allowing my knees to fall to the left this time. Again, you could change your arms if you'd like. You could bring that left hand to pull on the right leg if you'd like, or you might choose to take your gaze to the right. I'm going to bring my head back through center, my knees back through center. And then if you'd like to find a resting posture, so this period of rest could be an opportunity for you to do several things. One is just explore a couple of different forms that just bring you to a restful place. And so you can try something on. If it's suiting you, great. If it's not, just try something else, right? We'd like to find a few wakeful gestures, whatever that might be for you. After our rest, I'm on my back, so I'm just going to slowly come to one side. Maybe it's just a shift for you from wherever you are. If you were in a child's posture or sitting up, just finding a shift that helps you make. And then I'm going to press up. And we can end our practice time together. If you'd like to reach up, I'm going to take an inhale here. Bring my palms together, and I'm going to bring my thumbs to my forehead. Just notice breath. Then if you'd like to bring your thumbs to your mouth, you might notice breath here. And I'm bringing them to my heart space and taking a moment to notice my breath.
And if you'd like to inhale collectively and exhale back, peace or namaste. Thank you so much.